Welcome back to Never Enough Novels. It has been an absolutely crazy week for book mail, so I am thrilled to share some of these new titles with you. It's a mix of things that I got off of TikTok for one, and books from publishers, so there's a wide variety in here today. I'm going to put the links to all of these down below so you can grab any that you're interested in. Again, these are affiliate links, so if you buy anything from Amazon or Target or TikTok, it helps me as a creator, so I really appreciate that support. Some of these books I requested and I'm not even entirely sure what they're about, so we're going to be going through the descriptions together. But the first one that I'm absolutely most excited about is this book that I got from TikTok. It's a TikTok exclusive. So it's the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, but it's the deluxe edition. This one has these gorgeous sprayed edges. It is absolutely perfect for fall. It also has foil accents on the cover and even like beautifully designed end pages. So I could not resist this hardcover edition. I'm going to put the link to my TikTok video about it down below so you guys can grab it if you have TikTok. It was only like $18 and I've seen it on sale for as low as $15 with free shipping. So it's an amazing deal for this absolutely gorgeous book. And this is part of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe series. I think it's the second book in the series, but these can very easily be read as standalones. So if you haven't read the first book, that's totally fine. But again, I love this one because it was about a bookstore owner and she falls in love with one of the local guys in town. So it's a really sweet romance, but has a few spicy scenes. So like, don't be fooled by this really cutesy cover because it's got a little bit of spice in it. I feel like it was the perfect amount. This is definitely going to be one that you want to add to your fall TBR, especially this gorgeous edition. It's just going to look so nice on your bookshelves. The next book that I got is also a sprayed edge edition. This was a complete surprise. It came from Avon, the publisher, and it's Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey. So I had received an ARC of this one, so I couldn't believe when they sent the finished copy my way. It just absolutely like made my week. This one also has the beautiful sprayed edges. I'm just so obsessed with these. You can see they're little baseballs in the shape of hearts, which is just so stinking adorable. Also, this is, I think we're now at the fourth book in her sports romance series. All of them have a deluxe edition where they have these sprayed edges, so they look incredible together if you have the whole series. So this one is about a hockey player and a softball player. So I love that we get a little bit of a softball thing in there. So our main character is Robbie, who is on the Boston Bearcats. So he's a teammate of a few of the characters from the previous books in the series. But again, these are very much like standalone books. You don't need to read the rest of the books in the series to understand them. So Robbie is one of the younger guys on the team and he made it to the NHL, and him and his best friend slash teammate have been just kind of working their way through women and like loving the side effects of being an NHL player. But then he meets Skylar Page, who is a Division I softball player, and she is one of the people who's actually like immune to his charms. So he's immediately intrigued by this and like tries to win her over because he's not used to being turned down. Skylar knows his reputation and basically just wants nothing to do with him though. However, Robbie discovers that Skylar is holding a torch for her brother's best friend. So he sees a way in to try and help her with her romantic quest. And he says that he'll basically be her fake boyfriend slash love coach for an upcoming like family wilderness competition where this guy will also be at. So what could go wrong, right? They go through a series of contests that require them to actually start to trust each other. And what starts as a fake relationship turns into something a little bit more real. So this has the fake relationship vibes that are very common in romance books right now, but I still love them so much. And like, even though we know what's going to happen, they're still so much fun to like read about along the way. I love the aspect of this that has kind of the wilderness competition because I'm curious what type of test they're going to have to go through. And also seeing Robbie as a quote unquote love coach is going to be hilarious. All of the books in this series have been absolutely incredible, so this is another one that I'm really looking forward to. Next up is a fantasy book that I hadn't heard about before, but I saw this on Delacorte Press's list of upcoming releases and I wanted to give it a try. It's called The Ordeals by Rachel Greenwall. I really like the cover of this one because it kind of stands out from other fantasy romantasy books that I've seen lately. Okay, so this one is about Sophia de Winter, who is a 20-year-old illusionist. So it sounds like we're getting a slightly different type of magic system than what we normally see in these fantasy slash romantasy type books. And her chance to break free from her cruel uncle is to attend this Kilmarth College. So it's an elite academy for magic wielders, but it's on this remote tidal island. And to gain entry to this college, she must compete against other illusionists, maskiers, botanists, and alchemists in a series of brutal trials that some hopefuls don't actually survive. So we've got the academy setting, which is so much fun in these sort of romantasy novels, but also it sounds like a sort of a deadly competition to actually get in. So I'm really intrigued by that concept. When a powerful and sexy botanist rival wants to team up, she's in no position to refuse. But all of a sudden, they realize that some of the hopefuls for this college are actually being murdered, and she's starting to wonder, is this Kilmarth College a safe haven or a death sentence for her? So to make it out of these trials alive, she must hone her magic and learn who she can or cannot trust. That description sounds so incredibly amazing. Again, I cannot wait to get into this one. It looks like it's only like 360 or 375 pages, which is also kind of nice for a romantasy book these days. I feel like they have a tendency to be like more than 500 pages long. So I'm hoping this will be kind of a quick, snappy read. And I'm specifically curious about the different types of magic that were mentioned in the description here. I think that will set it apart from other romantasy books that I've read lately. Let's do some thrillers next. The first one I have is called A Murder in Paris by Matthew Blake. This one comes from Harper Books. This one is set in Paris, which I particularly love. So our main character is Olivia Finn, and she is a memory expert at Charing Cross Hospital in London. One night, she receives an urgent call from the police in Paris, where her grandmother has appeared at the Lutetia, which is a hotel on Paris's famous left bank. And her grandmother is in like this distressed state, claiming that she once committed murder at this hotel during the Second World War. So Olivia travels to Paris to try and find her grandmother, and she appears really confused and isn't sure what is going on. But her grandmother insists that it's some sort of recovered memory from the past, and it's actually true. Also, hotel records show that a woman did die in that one specific room in 1945. But to make things more intense, people start dying in present day, and Olivia is plunged into a race against time to uncover the truth about her grandmother, what happened all those years ago, and how it's tied to this series of murders today. It says it's set among the glamorous streets of Paris. This addictive thriller asks, what if a memory could get you killed? I always love any books set in Paris since I've been there a few times myself, and I think that city just adds a unique element to any sort of book. So I think the fact that this is a thriller at a famous hotel, and I'm curious about the connection between the past and the present. So hopefully we get some flashbacks to like 1945 and that World War II setting, and figure out what actually happened with the grandmother and then how that's tied to present day. Obviously it's been like 80 years since then, so that's a huge amount of time to pass. So I think this sounds like a really intriguing thriller. The next thriller I have is called The Wasp Trap by Mark Edwards. This one comes out in September, and a huge thanks to Atria Books for sending this one my way. This one's set in London, so we've got a lot of European thrillers lately, which is so much fun. And this is a dinner party in a Notting Hill townhouse that turns sinister as 6 old friends are forced to spill their darkest secrets. So these 6 friends have reunited in London to celebrate the life of their recently deceased ex-employer. So it was a professor that had brought them together in 1999 to help build a dating website based on psychological testing. So that right there sounds really intriguing from the get-go. But what's meant to be a night of nostalgia soon becomes this twisted and deadly game. So the old friends are given an ultimatum: reveal their darkest secrets to the group or pick each other off one by one. So it soon becomes clear their current predicament is related to their shared past and that app that they created. So the questionnaire that they developed back before 2000 for the dating site turned into a tool for weeding out psychopaths, and it was called the Wasp Trap. So this experiment and the other tragic events of that summer long ago may help reveal the truth behind a killer hiding in plain sight. So this one alternates between the past and the present. So it sounds like we'll go back in time to 1999 when these friends first met and started working on this questionnaire. And then also the present, where they're forced into this predicament where they have to reveal their darkest secrets or kill each other off in some way. So it says this is a fast-paced and twisty thrill ride. It absolutely sounds like that. Again, this is called The Wasp Trap. I love the idea of friends being put back together in a situation and some outside force kind of dictating what they have to do. So I'm so curious about this one, and also the concept of this kind of app that takes a look at your psychological analysis sounds really intense, and I'm curious how that has been used now since 1999, like it said, to try and identify other killers and people that might not be fit for society. So this sounds like another really excellent thriller. I haven't read anything by Mark Edwards before, so it'll be my first time reading one of his books. So I will give you a review once I'm done. This is kind of rare for me, but the only romance that I have to share with you today is called Crazy Spooky Love by Josie Silver. And I'm a little bit hit or miss on Josie Silver. I have loved some of her books and DNF'd other ones. So we'll see where this one lands, but I was intrigued by it because it's like a spooky romance. So it'll be perfect for Halloween in this fall time of year coming up. So this one says, ghosts and spirits are business as usual, but love might just be enough to scare Melody Bittersweet. So this is set in a small town of Chapelwick, and it says the Bittersweet family has been a fixture for as long as anyone can remember. On her 27th birthday, Melody Bittersweet converts the storeroom of her office and opens her own business. But unlike the rest of her family, she's not taking messages from ghosts, she's taking them out. So she has created the Girls Ghost Busting Agency, where she's going to try and help locals get rid of the ghosts in their house. And her first case is an old house that has a trio of brothers that raise hell whenever anyone comes to try and view the house to buy it. As she starts to investigate, it becomes clear there's a whole heap of unfinished business among these brothers, including murder. And Melody realizes she isn't the only one trying to unravel this mystery. Leo Dark, her ex and business rival, is also on the case, along with a TV crew trailing him. To make matters worse, the sarcastic and skeptical local reporter Fletcher Gunn also is involved in the story as well. He has always tried to discredit the Bittersweet family and their businesses, so she's now got these two men also trying to solve this case and deal with three ghost brothers who are their own mess. So I'm curious if this one will turn into a little bit of a love triangle between Melody and these two guys. I think it's gonna have a lot of humor in it and be a little bit sarcastic and funny. So I love those type of romances, ones that don't take themselves too seriously. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm excited to give it a shot. It's a little bit different than what I normally read because I don't normally delve into paranormal romances or mystery type romances, but it's a quick one. I think, look at it, it's only 300 pages, so it'll be a short read. So we'll give it a try and see how it goes. The last book I have to share today as part of this whole book haul is called His and Hers by Alice Feeney. So this is a very popular thriller author, and this book is actually one of her older books. I think it came out in 2020 it was originally published. So I received it from Flatiron because they're doing another campaign to kind of reinvigorate interest in Alice Feeney because she has a new thriller coming out this year, which I'm also excited for. But this is one of hers that I haven't read yet, so I'm excited to get into it. If you've read His and Hers, let me know in the comments and let me know what you thought about it. This is basically another dark and twisty read, which she's known for. So a woman is murdered in Blackdown, and newsreader Anna Andrews is reluctant to cover the case. Detective Jack Harper is suspicious of Anna's involvement until he becomes a suspect in his own murder investigation. I don't know how that works, but it basically says there are two sides to every story, yours and mine, ours and theirs, his and hers, which means someone is always lying. So not a lot to go on there from the back cover, which is kind of surprising. But I know Alice is kind of known for her twists and turns in her books. I've loved some of them and haven't been as crazy about others, but again, this one's pretty short. It's less than 300 pages too. So I love a snappy thriller that gets to the point, and I'm curious like what the two different sides of this story are gonna be. So we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. That's the end of my book haul of recent books that I got in August. Let me know in the comments which one you're most looking forward to trying or which one you think I should start first. And as always, stay tuned here, follow along on YouTube or on my podcast so that you can hear all of my thoughts on the latest books that I'm reading and get new book recommendations along the way.